Sunday rolls around and they're back on the screen. James and Dan, the wildest pair you've ever seen. Shooting up the airwaves, ready to ignite. Talking all things Poda, they're live tonight. From pile-ups to gear and crazy ham hacks, you never know where the convo tracks. 1 minute it's antennas, next it's a dare. Welcome to the world of the wild on-air affair. It's shenanigans, cranking up the sound. James and Dan taking Poda to town. Talking crazy calls and late-night thrills. Tuning up the bands with the power and the skills. Shenanigans, you know it's never take. Every Sunday night they're bringing the game. They're swapping stories about the wildest roads. Park to park, from the highs to the bros. Radio's failing but they make it through. Working those stations, yeah, nothing they can't do. James says, late shift's the thrill of it all. Dan's like, watch this pile up, I'll catch 'em all. With gear on the table and coffee in hand, they're rocking shenanigans across the land. It's shenanigans, cranking up the sound. James and Dan taking Poda to town. Talking crazy calls and late night thrills. Tuning up the bands with the power and the skills. Shenanigans, you know it's never take. Every Sunday night they're bringing the game. From wild activations to DX trees, they're riding the waves, breaking all the beats. Maybe a bet on who's faster on the draw. No matter what they chat, they leave us in awe.
Take off, Charlie.
What is up, Ham Radio? Kilo Echo 8 Papa Zoo November, the Ham Radio Adventure Guy. Thanks for stopping by your one stop for everything Adventure Radio. It is Sunday, time for some shenanigans, some great music, and anything me and Dan decide to put you guys through. So welcome, everybody. Oh, before we get started, we're going to do it just like we always do, and we're going to thank the Patreons because they're absolutely awesome. And I'll tell you what, the days are clicking closer to another Patreon meetup. The countdown is on for Murphy. Also, shout out to the YouTube members. Everybody equally as important right there. And you're even more important if you join Rover and take Brian off the bottom of that list. And the ever-changing board that did what? Nothing. It didn't move. Dan is getting really tired of not having to do work before the stream, guys. What's up, Dan?
I got a goal for next year. I think I'm going to learn American Sign Language. That way, during shenanigans, I can just sit back and be your interpreter. However it goes. What do you think?
You know, you could probably sit back there and just do hand gestures, and nobody's going to know the difference anyway.
Somebody would probably call us out. Somebody would. Yeah, I think somebody would call us out.
Good.
All right, let's see. Georgia Parks and Propagation was number 1 today. That's my buddy Grand Chris, Alpha Echo 4. X-Ray Oscar, how you doing? Glad you got your coax repaired. The squirrels at his house love to chew his coax and chewed it darn near in half. That was pretty funny. Kent Kilo 9 Alpha Echo Echo. Hello, hello. Andy Callie, always a staple. Appreciate you stopping by, buddy. Whiskey 1 Whiskey Charlie with his new DIY Eagle Whiskey 1 Whiskey Charlie antenna. He said he had a good first activation with it. So that's awesome. Chris Whiskey 0 Charlie Golf Charlie from East Tennessee. Good to see you. Mike 88KB, what's going on, buddy? Toby Alpha Delta 2 Charlie Delta says she'll be listening. Brent, November 4 Bravo Delta Whiskey. Good Sunday. Dad is in the house. Glad you got your call sign correct this time, buddy. Kilo Delta 9 Uniform Victor Kilo. Good to see you. Terry, Kilo 8 Golf Quebec's Uncle Chicken Legs. What's going on? Martini Whiskey Delta 4 Jumbo Marshmallow is here. Ham Radio Adventure Guy. I think I've seen him around every now and again. Good to see you. Chris, Kilo 3 My Toy Ostrich. Hello. Sherry, Kilo Echo 8 Yankee Victor Delta, who is now going to be driving on a sidewalk going to Walmart, so drive carefully. Chris, W80X. Good evening. Scott, N2TKT. Hello. Keeler 4, Lemur Indier. Josh is reading between the lines. Rob Q, what's going on, buddy? Whiskey 8, Juliet Echo Sierra Radio. Hello. And Mike Probersh. That's the PP man, KE8PTX. The bar is open, my friend. So come sit down, have a drink, and enjoy the Sunday shenanigans. What's going on, James?
Same old.
Yeah.
Except for the exciting fact that I found out that the local Walmart does have Hershey's with waffle cone pieces in it. So that is where Yankee Victor Delta is gone, because I've not had one since I've came back from Florida. I've looked in several gas stations and everything, but I've been unable to find them, but I just found out they have them.
How about the new Dr. Pepper flavor, speaking of?
I told her if she's seen one of those to pick up one of those as well. Might as well do it right tonight.
I got to say, PP Man was proud of me for doing a QRP hunting. And he sent me a message. He goes, man, I'm proud of you. He goes, next time, do it on a watt. I said, no, I'm not that crazy. Not going to try.
Kiwa November 8, Papa Yankee did hunt me this past week on a 10th of a watt.
Yeah. He said that. He commented on. He said, yeah. It takes too much patience, and patience is something that I don't have much of.
Well, look at it this way. If you are like PP Man and you always do QRP, that way when the new solar cycle or the solar cycle gets into the crap, you can run 100 watts and it's going to be about the same.
Yeah, you won't be disappointed.
Yeah.
Didn't think about it that way. Yeah.
Donuts work is never done.
Dan is into instant gratification. You know what? That's absolutely right. I want to pull the trigger on my hunting 1 or 2 times, 3 times, get in the pile up, get gone. I like to be efficient. I think that's the term I'm looking for. Efficiency. I want to run through the spots, run through the sideband spots, run through the CW spots, take another gander to see if anybody else hopped on, turn the radio off, and go do something else. I don't want to sit there for 4 hours running through the spots. What did get me is, so running QRP, unless you're lucky, know how to time it right. You gotta. It's all about your timing in pileups. I noticed, and there'll be one guy on that it took me forever to get through. And then there was another guy down the list that I had my eye on. But by the time I got done with this guy, I finally got through his pileup. The guy I really wanted down there was gone. I was like, no, come on. But hey, it was fun. I enjoyed it. It's all about having fun. So if you like running one whiskey, do it.
Doing QRP is okay. First off, it's okay if you're doing CW. I never have a problem. I mean, there's a lot of times, even when I take my Yaesu out, I just turn it down to 5 watts and do CW. Yeah. I mean, I only turn it down to 5 watts because it won't go down to 3, just so you know.
When I was talking about hunting just then, but activating, I'll activate QRP all the time on CW. Voice sideband activation on CW, that doesn't interest me very much at all.
It doesn't me either, and it's because of exactly what you said. I want to get done, and it's not get to something else, but it's get to another park.
Yeah.
Because like the last week and a half, 2 weeks, the bands or just garbage. I don't know what's wrong with the bands, but they're just garbage. And you know, I'm not that person that's going to sit there and keep calling CQ. I'll get my activation in, and when it's done and nobody else is calling, I think I'm done with this. And
Yeah.
I head to another park, you know.
And
So
so far, I'd say 98% of my CW activations have been QRP. I mean, I don't mind running QRO CW, but I don't, for my skill level right now at CW, I don't want that massive pileup. And sometimes I still get the massive pileup running 5 watts. So when I get better and better at it, I might do some 100-watt CW, you know. Hunt you in Dayton on 1 watt. Heck yeah.
I guarantee he will too. And he'll be loud on 1 watt. And then he'll ride down there on his golf cart and tell me I'm disturbing the campground.
Martini says Blackberry DP, and just to clarify, this is shenanigans. That stands for Dr. Pepper. When I saw that, all I can think about was James. Dr. Pepper DP.
It's the same with Dan. You know, every time he sees peanut butter, all he can think about is me.
Absolutely. You know, we should. I don't know if it would be. One of us would probably get demonetized, so we might want to make a 3rd channel just for the pre-stream shenanigans. We should probably record those and put them out like on a 3rd channel that we don't care about. You know what I mean?
And PP Man says, I guess you two don't hunt deer. Actually, before POTA, before I become obsessed with POTA, actually, I was a very avid deer hunter. And I've done it for most of my life. And not only am I a deer hunter, but I don't do it QRO at all because I don't use a gun. I use a bow because a gun is too easy.
Right.
So yes, I do understand the sitting there and waiting. And for a deer, that's acceptable. But for a QSO, it's not.
Mike, when you hunt deer, do you spread the corn out, wait for them to come feed, and then pop them off, or how do you hunt? I guess that's the question. Because me personally, I'm probably going to piss off a lot of deer hunters here, but you know, whatever. If you spread corn out and wait for little Bambi or Bambi's mama or daddy to come eat some corn, and then Sherry hunts deer with her car. Yeah. And then you wait for the deer to come just do what they do and eat some corn. And then you pop them from a tree stand. At that point, you're not really hunting, you're baiting, I would say. That's just my 2 cents.
Okay. So there might be some more shenanigans going on because we need to clarify this really quick. I clicked the wrong one.
It's legal here.
Speaking of sideband and CW, thanks for the cross mode mobile earlier. Did I hunt you crossband earlier? Because if I did, it was not me.
Maybe he hunted you mobile crossband.
I did have a CW station that tried to hunt me, and I called for the CW station, and they never called. They never called back.
He said, "No, I hunted you," and said the CW out loud.
Oh, okay.
I see.
Yes, he hunted me with this club call, which I don't remember his club call right now.
KK4.
It does end in Victor, and then when he said Victor, he went Victor.
So Kilo 4 India Victor,
and then at the end he did CW. Yeah, okay, I got you now. I know what you're talking about now. I was like, I have hunted Brian cross mode before, but it's wasn't today. So
they throw me for a loop still. Sometimes when I'm activating, I'll get a cross mode contact, and at that point, my brain is in the SSB. It's in the phone mode, right?
You know, and you know, PP Man brings up hunting, and we'll put it this way: if something shuts down and all the grocery stores shut down, I'm content with I can go get my own food. My only problem is I have yet, and I've looked and looked and looked. I cannot find the bedding ground for Little Debbie anywhere.
Or
So
Dr. Pepper.
I'm still trying to figure out how to hunt the Little Debbie.
Or the Dr. Pepper breeding ground. Yeah.
Not to be confused with Terry's Big Betty.
Little Betty, not Big Betty.
Yeah,
That's right. That's right.
Hmm.
What is going on, everybody? Hopefully you had a good week. Were the bands crappy today, or was it just me? I listened a couple times, didn't hear much, and turned the radio off.
Yeah, the bands were crap. When I went out, the 40 had straightened up. I didn't even bother this morning because I listened and I was like, no, I'm not going out for that. And Sherry hunted quite a bit, but she hunted a lot of 10 meter. But then I did go out this afternoon and 40 meters straightened up and 20 had straightened up actually. So, late afternoon, like 3-ish, the bands were okay.
Yeah. Heard there was a big fast moving CMA that's going to hit like today. Did I read that right? Somebody help me out in the chat that follows space weather. There's a big fast moving CMA that's going to bring the Aurora a little bit further south.
All I know is about weather is it rains too much, and that's the only weather I worry about.
Is it still raining up there?
My toy ostrich says it was horrible in South Florida. 17 and 10 was better. That was around noon. Yes, around noon it was the same here. So absolutely same here. But I did get out. It was after 3 when I went out and activated, so it had straightened up some. And it's been like that for weeks. It does start to get better toward the evening time.
Yeah. So. 40 does for sure.
All of them do, I guess. But that's all. No, I take that back. I did 20 today, which was surprising because I was at Tomlin. And when I'm at Tomlin on top of the world, I don't have to try to go through the mountains for 20 meters. I'm going above the mountains. So that's why when I'm at Tomlin, 20 meters works pretty great for me. So
Brian says he only got 40, but everybody he got did seem strong.
So, and speaking of, like I say, 20 meters don't work here because of the mountains and stuff. I'll tell you another problem that I have found. It's this satellite stuff. The mountains are blocking all the satellite passes because every single one that I will be around that I can hunt, they're all at like their highest point 15 degrees, which is behind the mountains every time.
Sounds like another hike to the overlook is in order.
Yeah.
It's.
I mean, I could do it up from Tomlin again. I would be good at Tomlin, but it's that problem.
Wonder how good it would be in Monsanto at the overlook, because that overlook is still, you only got one direction that's relatively clear. All the rest of it's still trees.
It would just depend on the pass, because
where it was coming.
One pass might be over here, the other might be over here. So I'm still yet to even hear a bird yet. So we'll get it figured out. I did get my radio. Remember I asked about how his actually showed the satellite names and mine was just showing frequencies.
Yeah.
I did find the setting in the radio to get that fixed. So there's that. But then you got his setup, and so I was trying to listen for the SO50 yesterday evening, and it says SO50 MP, SO50 something else, SO50 D1, D2, D3, D4. And I'm like, I have no clue which one of these to listen to. Brian says he's done some satellite hunting from the Overlook.
Yeah. Hey, Kurt Collins. Hello, buddy. Whiskey 9 Kilo Echo Charlie. How you doing?
He also said, and the Overlook on the east side near the playground.
I've never been there. I
don't know that I've been to the east side near the playground. Maybe we're going to have to explore next year, Dan.
Well, this will let me know if I'm going to go or not. Brian, does that playground happen to have a teeter-totter?
Oh, if it's got a teeter-totter, we're definitely going to be there.
Yeah, because we have to have the teeter-totter off. Because
that's right, the QR playground.
That's right, because PP Man's going to be coming to Huntsville this year. And we have to complete the teeter-totter off.
That's funny, that story. And Jamie remembers it very good. Yeah. So myself and Dan and Robbie, Jamie was there, but she wasn't activating then, was activating down at Ovino State Park. And Robbie was taking a call, and there was a playground right behind us. And he told the guy, I said, sorry, could you say that again? I got some QR playground in the back.
Yeah, that was great. Oh, man, you got to make it to Huntsville, Mike. It's the friendliest ham fest. Brian says he's going to check and report back on the teeter-totter the next time he goes through.
It doesn't matter, because every time PP Man chickens out on the teeter-totter off, he's literally scared of Terry. Like, Terry has PP Man shaking in his QRP.
His QR boots. No, my goodness.
I mean, I understand it. I've seen some of the things Terry wears in After Chat. Terry can be a scary individual, but I don't shy away from those challenges. That's why I broke ribs racing a 9-year-old.
Yeah, that's true. I want to throw a shout out here to this guy who repaired my amp. Let me find his website here, because this guy
already repaired it.
Man, yeah, that's why I want to give this dude a shout out. Yes, it's on the way back. It's already on the truck. It'll be here like tomorrow or Tuesday.
Oh wow!
I'm telling you, and I set it off Monday.
Yeah, I know you just sent it off. That's great.
All right, let me drop this link in the chat. November 4 Alpha Tango Sierra. His name is Bill. He's a little bit south of Orlando. He's in St. Cloud, Florida, and he's an authorized repair center for ACOM, which happens to be the brand of amp that I have. But it's his passion to build and repair all sorts of different kind of amps. So it's not just ACOM. He does a Meritron, Expert, you name it. You name it. But I sent my amp to him last Monday, and it took 2 days to get down there. So he got it on a Wednesday, and Wednesday or Thursday he got it. I forgot. And yesterday he calls me on a Saturday. He calls me and says, "Hey, just got your amp out of the box. Got it on the test bench. Just what's wrong with it? Yada yada yada. I have the parts in stock. They're genuine ACOM parts. I get them from ACOM. Here's the price. Here's the price for my labor. I'm not going to divulge what he charged me, but I will say it was very, very, very reasonable. His labor charge is very reasonable, and charged me the cost of the parts. And he said, if you want to go ahead and do that, go ahead and do that. And I said, yep, let's go ahead and get it done. And sent him the payment by PayPal, which is one of his methods of payment. And same day, yesterday, he had it all repaired, tuned back up, everything adjusted like it should have been for the new piece that he replaced, and got it back on the UPS truck, and it's out of his shop. Less than a week, turnaround time on that. Very impressed with this guy. So if you need amplifier service, repair, hit them up. Give them a call, shoot them an email, and I'm sure you'll be pleased with his service. I am for sure. Now, it's assuming I'm gonna get my amp back and it works at all. But so far, I'm very pleased with his service. Yeah, November 4 Alpha Tango Sierra. Yep, I listed his website just above there, Chris. Yeah, you must know him.
Kilo 4 Lima Indy, you were in the chat. Will you answer Brent's question? Because I just show up where they tell me to, Brent. I know it was in a back parking area. There's literally, you go down some steps. There's a bathroom, and you go down some steps, and there's a shelter down there. But I don't know. So Kilo 4 Lima India can tell you if that's where we were or not, because we will be at the same place, I'm sure.
The last pin I saw dropped was at the boat ramp there. Is that around the same place?
I don't remember a boat ramp.
I'm sure whoever does the meetup can send me the coordinates, and I'll plop them into that. I'll plop them into my assistant, who likes to tell me where to turn.
I had no. Brian says it's at the pavilion next to the boat ramp. Okay, maybe there is a boat ramp there.
Cool.
And when I was drunk on Poda, and that's my story.
Right.
Yes, you park right there where the bathrooms is. The boat ramp is over on the other side. That's why I didn't see it. See,
we'll figure it out.
Well, I can tell you that on my way in, they talked me in via 2 meter, so that's how I figured it out. And that's all I know. They guided me in on 2 meter, and I'm sure people will be doing that again this year. And Saturday is the big meetup. Yes,
I want somebody to talk me in over Mesh-tastic. Absolutely.
You'll have to talk to them boys.
Y'all must have been using that Kilo 4 Lima India repeater.
I do not remember.
Yeah.
I do not remember. I if I'm not mistaken, no, because I didn't have my 500 in. But whatever repeaters are still in my 3DR, I do know that.
I'm telling you, from what I hear, that repeater has good coverage, like Terry's hover around.
I can tell you that I'm really excited about this meetup, because we had a really good turnout last time. We had a really good turnout. I can't remember how many, but there was a lot of people there. And I think this year is absolutely going to destroy last year. So it's really, really good. So
Chris wants to know, what's the plans for Dayton?
The same plan we always have for Dayton.
We're taking over the world, Pinky.
Basically, I'll be at the Hamfest all 3 days, and after the Hamfest, I will go and try my best to make people film YouTube videos about how awesome my activations are at Caesar's Creek. I mean, there will be some park roving at different periods of that, but the big thing is everybody ends up at my campsite, and there's always a massive activation hangout pretty much every evening.
It's so exciting that Terry goes to sleep.
Now, that was actually in PP Man's camper. So in Terry's defense, PP Man may have roofied him.
That's plausible. I can see that. Yeah. Yeah, stand by for 15 more ops. That's right.
15 more would be a small activation for Dayton. I can tell you that. Last year's Dayton is the current record, so I would say we're going to beat it this year. Josh's repeater's up in 4,700. Good coverage. Yeah, there's some mountains down there. I would tell you that. When you don't think North Carolina and you think mountains, but out there where they're at, you got mountains. That's for sure.
My question, Josh, is why is there not, a good multi-band beam on top of that thing and a flex radio? Yeah. There you go.
Oh, probably because of the people in that area. And I know Josh has had some issues with people changing locks and everything else. And no internet at the site.
Yeah, that'll do
it. Terry did drink Bud Light and fall asleep that year. That's what it was. It was that Bud Light. That was we actually went to a restaurant called 73. and
he drank one Bud Light and
Terry had
73.
Terry had some Bud Light, and
that's funny. He drank one Bud Light at 73 and said 73.
Well, somebody tried to buy the Bud Light for me. So there probably was a roofie in it. They were probably trying to roofie me. And I refused to drink the Bud Light. So, of course, Terry never refuses to drink the Bud Light. No, James definitely was not drinking the Bud Light. That's what you were hoping, Mike. You were hoping to roofie me, and instead you roofied Terry. The bad thing about roofing Terry, Mike, is not only do you wake up with Terry in your camper, but chances are when he's gone, so is half of your underwear.
At least half. He needs to restock his Etsy store.
I guarantee you when PP Man wants a second Bud Light, he says again. Oh, Lord. No, these boys have a habit of trying to send me Bud Light and everything else. And Terry always ends up getting to drink Bud Light.
He takes one for the team. Yeah.
You might have a Photoshop photo.
Oh, that's funny. Man, it's not been a long day. It's just been one of those Sundays. You know what I mean? Just been a Sunday day.
One of them that drags by. Well, yeah. Mine is it's the weather, because it's wanting the rain, but it's holding off. And what it's probably going to do is going to wait until right at this stream being over, and it's going to downpour. Is what it's probably going to do.
Just to rain here tomorrow.
Because we all know that I'm not going to waste my time going out in the rain this evening.
Yeah, supposed to rain here tomorrow, but today was a beautiful day here. I mean, absolutely gorgeous. It just made it feel like just dragged on, man.
It was good weather here today. It was really cloudy. Matter of fact, a couple times in our activation, because we pulled out the table and the chairs up at Tomlin. A couple of times I felt a couple of sprinkles, and I was just like, "Yeah, here we go." But it never happened. So,
you sure that wasn't Yankee Victor Delta spitting on you?
It could have been.
Might have been. Yeah. Never know.
It absolutely could have been. So, what was it? She said something so funny the other day on the radio, and I about lost it. Oh, she said whiskey won rodeo Charlie Papa.
Rodeo. Yeah, I was trying to laugh mid yawn there. Rodeo Charlie
and
Papa.
Robbie come back and said, "Oh, I like the rodeo."
That's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Brent, hopefully you're feeling better with that knee, buddy. Crushed his knee.
Brent, I think we're going to have to chip in and everybody get you one of those ginormous bubbles. that we can just put you in because you're always getting hurt on me, buddy.
That'd be funny.
He's just getting over his back injury now. He's done went and crushed his knee and his 2-meter antenna. So, but yeah, hopefully the rain will hold out and I can go out this evening and do an early late. That's the good thing about this time of year. Late shift is 8 o'clock and I can get an early and a late, but we'll just have to see. It's going to be snowing here in about 20 minutes.
How about that? Jeez.
You can keep that snow right with you. I can go ahead and tell you that because I want no more part of that. I feel like that's why the bands are bad, because it's the weather. The way the weather's just going absolutely crazy. It's not letting the bands decide whether it can be good or not. No, it actually will not be US 1810 if I go out, John. It will be 9740 because 1810 I did yesterday for early late, and that would, if I did an early tonight, it'd be all dupes. So it would be 9740.
You ever noticed during a really big sideband contest, the bands are just on fire, but the day after, they totally suck. It's like the band said, all right, I think I'm done with this. I need a break. 24 hours break.
Well, you know, I can't never tell that they're on fire when the contest is going on because everybody stacks themselves 0.25 away from each other.
You only need one KC, right?
Like
now, I will give it to them. The seasoned contesters, the ones that do it a lot, they don't run 3 KC wide in their contest. They'll run like 2.5 or a little bit narrower to try to maximize the amount of available bandwidth. So they don't run a full, 3 KC, which is nice of them,
Yeah, but the seasoned contesters.
Then you got the other ones, hollering, CQ contests that are running like 4 wide. And you're like, man, come on. Really? Yeah, James got me an Eagle yesterday too, Terry.
Yes, sir. I was just getting ready to say yesterday was Eagle Day.
Yeah.
Got Dan and Terry an Eagle yesterday.
That good old cornstalk. You got me an Eagle +1, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Terry said it was delicious.
I had to get that extra contact in there just in case you fat fingered my call sign.
That's funny. Yeah. Yesterday was definitely awards day. I was giving them out a little bit.
Yeah, that makes let me count real fast. I don't even know. Let me see if that Eagles should be in here. My awards. Oh my goodness, where am I? Repeat offender. All right, that's 10, 20, 30, 40. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That makes my 47th Eagle.
47th Eagle. Well,
and I have 8 more that are less than 10 contacts away.
And here's the thing. So those awards only went up to 25. Yep. Same as the activator. All the 100 ones are out. The 15 to 20 and the 25, even though people have them, are not out.
Right.
But it would not surprise me if they would come out with more hunter awards, like a 30 and a 35, before they would put out those activator awards. It's not that big of a deal. If you can put out new awards for hunters, you can put out those awards are already made. Just put them out. If you activate 25 parks 100 times, you deserve your piece of paper.
Oh, for sure. That's a big feat.
I mean, it's just absolutely crazy. So,
curious what that sound was on my phone. I don't hear it very often.
Don't you hate when your phone makes a sound that you never hear?
Well, it would be important. And it kind of was, but it fixed itself, which is good.
Okay, so if I hear a sound that my phone makes that I never hear it's important.
It could be. It could be. Yeah.
Or it could not be. Because I have yet to hear a sound on my phone that it never makes and it be important. A lot of times I don't even know what it was.
Most of that's alarm stuff coming in from work. And but that happened to be like a personal stuff alarm from some of my services that I run in the cloud. But it fixed itself.
I was going to say, great. Was it an alarm saying you need to order more peanut butter?
No. I don't get alarms for that. I got those on the Amazon, the automatic refill thing. Yeah, I'm subscribed. The buy and save, subscribe stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Those notifications get annoying.
Yeah.
Dan bought 40 more cases of peanut butter. Dan bought 40 more cases of peanut butter.
That's driving up your Amazon sales, though. You owe me a check. Sure. What's going on, buddy? Welcome.
Speaking of which, I did happen to catch something on Amazon, and I'm not going to put it out what I got, but it just upped my. It's going to up my video game for Hamfest, we'll say, and you'll see what it is very, very, very soon. Because
I want to, if you ever perusing Amazon and feel froggy, I want a 360 cam. If you want to get me one, because I have a grand scheme of things that I want to do at Huntsville, other Hamfests as well. Is I want to get, say, like an Eagle One, like a jack kite pole, and I want to strap it to somebody's table or whatnot that's dead in the center of the arena.
Yeah.
Put a 360 cam about 31 feet in the air and just let it record the entire time.
Yeah.
And that way after the Hamfest, I can just go and chop out, certain video stuff. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, it would be.
As long as you can run it off DC power, just hook it to I'll just hook it to Robbie's phone charger, and it'll run all weekend.
Yeah. Because I got to make up for some footage from Florida, because with my rib injury, I did not get the footage I wanted to from Florida.
I didn't either. I was having so much fun hanging out with folks. Dom, I was having so much fun just hanging out with Dom and shooting the crap with him that I got very little.
Yeah. Look there, Andy's on top of the game, already telling us that Tank is next. Out of the way, I ain't got to struggle thinking of who it is.
That's Frank, right? You remember?
Here we go again.
Oh man.
So here's the thing. I'm thinking about doing something new next week on Shenanigans.
Ooh.
And you guys tell me what you think. I'm thinking about doing a couple of mystery boxes, having like 4 mystery boxes here, and they'll be labeled A, B, C, and D.
It's one I'm going to have an Elecraft microphone in it,
and one of them will have a radio in it, an HF radio. It is used. It is used.
Nice.
But it is working. And one of them will have some swag in it. One of them will have Canadian paper straws in it.
Oh, yeah.
And one of them will have another special gift that's probably equal to the Canadian straws. And we would do an auction. And whoever won that auction during the stream could pick which box they wanted live on stream. And we would open it and see what they wanted. Wanted. And we could do that for a couple of weeks straight until somebody won that radio. It's just a thought.
That would be interesting. What if somebody picks the radio the first time, though? Maybe somebody might want the straws, so we still have to do it. Yeah, I mean,
Well,
you never know.
here's the thing. I don't think we'll get very many bids on somebody shooting for the straws.
I don't
But
know, man.
I do happen to have
Straws are really good once you use them for about 5 or 10 minutes and you end up having to chew them.
4 Canadian paper straws right here in my hand. I do have some swag that has never, ever been released to be sold, and it never will.
Are these the undergarments by chance?
No, these are not the undergarments.
Okay.
It's one of those things. You know how I'm really picky on my stuff that I release to sell,
Especially the undergarments, yeah.
and I order stuff, and I'm like, yeah, it's cool, but I wouldn't sell it.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of them deals. So several of my bigger supporters are getting some in the mail, and several of them I'm going to be giving away.
Look at this flex right here. 27 months.
Flexing, and turd. No, I will not even charge tariffs on the straw.
That's right.
Right
Mommy
there. Mommy Noodles is in the house. And I really want to say something to
Mom.
Mommy Noodles. Happy Ham Radio anniversary.
Absolutely.
30 years ago today, Astronaut, Apricot, Zero, and I'm going to stick with Zungry because I don't know what it means.
That's right.
Got his ham radio license. 30 years, guys. This guy has been around for a while.
The big 3-0, man. That is a lot. That's a lot of Chipotle. And that's a lot of ramen in the taco skillet.
Yeah, I've been sitting and watching in the chat for him to pop in here tonight because Kyle's a good guy and he always pops in. She says, "Nice, Zungry."
That's right.
Maybe one day she will let us know the meaning of Zungry.
Kyle says he just turned 35 in October.
Okay. If you say so. I didn't realize we were so close together in age, Kyle.
Yeah. Kyle, how did I haven't heard an update, and you may have said so, and I just missed it, and for that I apologize. First of all, unrelated to my question I was going to ask, it just popped in my head. I think you got 1,000 subs on your hiker channel. That's awesome. Square Drop Adventures. Kudos. That is awesome. But my question I was going to ask was, how did your contest station fare? The last thing I heard after the storms is you didn't have power. Is everything physically okay there? After the big line of storms came through?
73, Brent.
Yeah, you see, buddy. Hopefully your knee starts feeling better.
He says true. 1K subs on the Overlanding channel.
Yeah.
Does that mean true? You got 1K of subs, or now it's a true 1K of subs? Oh.
I forget where I saw him mention that, but I saw him mention it. It was probably on a live stream somewhere.
And if the lightning and thunder is hitting Brent now, it won't be long, and it'll be my way too.
Oh, he says on one of his towers after the storms, the Yagis got turned 170 degrees.
Wow.
Okay, so how did they slip? Was it pinned in the rotor and the bracket on the antenna slipped around the mast, or regardless, that's a hell of a wind right there. That's crazy. Okay, so pinned in the rotor and just the bracket on the mast of the antenna. Yeah, stuff happens.
Yeah, no, well, I mean,
no damage, though, I would think.
Not too long ago, if you remember, I was telling you the story about my Eagle One. The wind really picked up that one night.
Yeah.
And, it's lined up like this with the two poles,
Yeah.
and one end was like this. The bracket had slid around. Right? It had loosened up a little bit.
Right.
I had to do some work on that.
Well, that was awesome. So no damage, just some stuff out of place, which is really fortunate. So, all your, you said it. I'm remembering all this stuff that I heard somewhere. You probably said it on a live stream, dude. You had a Raspberry Pi that was down. Some other stuff. Hopefully that was Just a matter of plugging it back in or something.
So he said they climbed the tower on Saturday. My question to you is this, Kyle. When you get up to about 10 feet, do you think you're up really high?
No, but I'll tell you, because I used to climb a lot. I did a lot of repeater antenna repair work for our club here back in the 90s, early 2000s. And if you look at a tower, look at like a 50-foot tower, not that tall. If you fall off of it, it's probably going to kill you, but it's not that tall. So you look up at a 50-foot tower, you're like, oh, it's a 50-foot tower. You climb up it, you look down, it looks like 150 feet.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Listen, I wouldn't be the person going up a tower now because my equilibrium is all screwed up since my brain surgery. But growing up as a kid, you know, my dad was a ham, and he used to say, "Hey, you see that tree right there? See that branch way up there, about 70 feet? I bet you couldn't climb up there, could you? I bet I can. I bet you couldn't do it packing this rope, could you?
Put a pulley up there for me." It's not going up, dude. Going up never bothers me. Still to this day, I can climb up all day long. I can climb up 400 feet. Doesn't bother me one bit. Looking down doesn't bother me one bit. Coming back down the tower or even coming back down an extension ladder bothers me because I think it's just the weight of gravity with me or something. When I come back down, every step I take, my legs like shake and tremble. But going up doesn't bother me one bit.
Well, now when I was younger, none of it bothered me.
Yeah,
none of it. I cared zero. Now it's not going up or going down that bothers me, unless I look down.
Yeah,
because I can now with my equilibrium the way it is, I can be 10 feet up, and if I look down, I get dizzy.
I can't look up. Well, like if I'm on a tower, I can look down all day long because the ground's not moving. But if I look up and the clouds are moving, that messes with my brain. I mean, I can't look straight up and watch the clouds move out while I'm stationary. It really messes with me.
But I can't tell you, you'd start at the bottom, these trees be this big around.
Yeah.
My dad wanted to send you up there where they get real tiny. There where you're shaking like this right here. Am I far enough? No.
All right. Child labor. Go up there 80 feet and put a pulley strap up there for me. I appreciate it, son. You'll be all right. Just don't tell your mother.
And then you get back down. He's like, "Hey, you see that one on the other side of the yard? Do the same thing."
Make sure you get them the same height.
I'll tell you, I did plenty of antenna setups when I was a kid, not having a clue what I was doing.
That's the way to do it. So pay a tree climber to put, pulleys and eye bolts up there because it's ridiculous, dude. They'll put on their harnesses or not. They'll scurry up that thing, and 10 minutes later, they'll be done. And the good ones around here, anyway, the good tree climbers around here are not just tree climbers. They're not just, their main thing is not climbing trees just to take them down, because at that point you don't care, but they're true arborists. What they'll do here is they won't spike climb a tree unless they absolutely have to, because it's very damaging to the tree, right? So they'll throw a rope up and ascend rather than spike climb it.
Well, my climbing now consists of with a climbing stand. If it can't be climbed with a climbing stand, I'm not going up it, because that still don't bother me. I can still set, even after my surgery, I can still set 50 foot up in a tree.
I was just about to say, in a climbing stand, most of the pine trees here, the branches don't start till around 50 feet anyway. So,
and I can look down fine in a climbing stand. Mm-hmm. But I'm sitting down and I'm not leaning over looking or nothing.
It's a wider base too. You feel more stable.
Yeah.
And you're not standing up, so you don't always have that pressure on your feet. Sign shops with cranes. Yep. That's the best way to do it. I've already resigned myself to that one there. I think if I ever have to do any work on top of my 45-foot mast that holds my my doublet, Kyle, I'm just going to rent one of those 50-foot man lifts for the weekend and just do it like that. It's a lot easier than lowering the mast and then having to raise the mast back up.
I don't know if he has any 50-foot, and they're not man VIFs, but Terry's got several women VIFs that he might could loan you. I don't know. I don't know if it's the same thing or not, but
Yeah. 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 When I eventually get the tower here, I'm just gonna. I mean, it's a tilt over tower. That's just the way it's designed. But once I get that thing up and bolted, I'm not planning on tilting it over. I'll just get a man lift or something, or climb it or whatnot. A hazer. If you put a hazer, you can put a hazer. All right, so hazers are cool. We got a little time left. Hazers are cool. If anybody doesn't know what a hazer system is, it is a contraption that sits on the outside of the tower legs that has wheels that capture the tower legs, and it's an electric trolley that goes up and down the tower legs. So you hit a button and it raises up the outside of the tower, and you can put your antennas on it. And you can basically move your antennas from ground level to work on them. You hit the button and it goes, and your antennas go up the tower. Those are great for straight towers like Ron. But I'm looking at getting a telescoping, freestanding tower. And they don't make hazers for towers that are wider at the bottom and narrower at the top.
I just need to win like the biggest lottery that's ever been in mankind, because I'm just going to go buy like an old military base, and I'm going to take those tubes that they have the rockets in them, and I'm just going to put all these pneumatic towers in them, and then when I want to do radio, all of a sudden you'll just see all these towers come up out of the ground.
You'll see the Mrs. Silo hatch open, and then your tower comes out.
And then I'm going to do radio, and then when I'm done, they're going to go back in the ground again.
It'll look like something off an Austin Powers movie. Raise the tower. Kelly Rose, how you doing? KI5 JAV has entered the chat.
KI4, not 5.
Yeah, did I say 5?
You said 5.
I'm sorry. Let me try that again. Kelly Rose, KI4 JAV. Welcome.
All right, Dan. We got to make room for Frank Tank.
Yeah, and that tank.
What you got coming up, buddy?
Oh man, not a lot. Gonna hunt some POTA here after the live stream and get a bite to eat. Hopefully, we'll catch some activators on the air come 000 Zulu. That's not to be confused with Alpha 0 Zulu. But hopefully, everybody has a great week coming up. Thank you so much for joining us here on Sunday Shenanigans, James.
For myself, I'm hoping the rain is going to hold off, and I'm going to go out and do an early and a 000 Zungri. And hopefully I'll get an early late shift in. We're just going to have to play it by ear. I'm not playing in the rain tonight. I'm done with this weather because I can make you guys hunt me tomorrow. I'll tell you, since I stopped thinking about who's in the PZN challenge every day and not paying attention, activating is so much more fun.
I know, right? You don't have that stress.
Like, it's so much more fun. Like, I literally just go out and activate, and I don't think about nothing but activating.
Terry says you have no excuse. They have pavilions.
They do have pavilions, but pavilions also are cold when it's rainy and wet, and I'm not doing it tonight if it's raining. But right now it's not raining, so calm down. Calm down, Terry. Just calm down. All right. Anyway, that's right. Pavilions don't stop lightning either. Get out and do an early late shift shortly with VE3THR and VE3YTG. That sounds good, Brian. Maybe we'll get a park to park. So, all right, guys. Thank you guys very much. Thank you very much for hanging out with us tonight and ignoring certain people. Hopefully I'll catch you guys on the air, and I'll be dropping videos all week as normal. 73, everybody.
See ya.